Back in Buffalo,
it's clear that he continues to move and take steps in a positive direction here.
Damar Hamlin getting out of the hospital for the first time since he collapsed on the field. In the wake of demonstrations in Brazil, its former leader heads to the hospital here in Florida. Plus, a Prince in print.
I love my family, I always do.
And in your hands today. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Leanna Botorbush.
I am Paloma Pimentel. Today is Tuesday, January 10, 2023. Return trip.
Live from the FIU Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Return trip. 1 week after his away game in Cincinnati, injured Bills safety Damar Hamlin was well enough to travel back to Buffalo. Hamlin is once again waking up in a hospital bed this morning, but it's one much closer to the community that rallied around him in upstate New York.
The network's Christopher Gomez is in the control center this morning.
Hey there, good morning, ladies. It really is a story of resilience and of a community coming together. After a huge injury in last week's game versus the Bengals, Damar Hamlin is back in Buffalo, but there's still a long way to go.
We're happy to have him back.
This morning, Damar Hamlin is back in Buffalo, returning home for the first time after suffering a cardiac arrest during a Monday Night Football game in Cincinnati a week ago.
It's clear that he continues to move and take steps in a positive direction here. And even though I'm not physically with him right now, we're not physically with him. It's like anything else when you have your family close by. It just feels right.
Hamlin was released from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center after his condition upgraded and he was cleared to fly.
Damar Hamlin has met a number of key milestones on his journey to recovery, all to get him to this point that he could be safely returned to Buffalo.
The 24-year-old Bills safety tweeting, "Happy to be back in Buffalo," along with this heartfelt message. Quote, "Watching the world come together around me on Sunday was truly an amazing feeling. The same love you all have shown me is the same love that I plan to put back into the world and more." His positive health updates throughout the week fueled his team in their first game since his collapse against rivals New England Patriots.
35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Nyheim Hines, 96 yards.
Fans erupting with joy on the first play, and Hamlin tweeted his excitement from his hospital bed with his mom and dad by his side.
When the opening kickoff was run back, he jumped up and down, got out of his chair, set, I think, every alarm off in the ICU in the process, but he was fine. It was just appropriate reaction to a very exciting play.
The last time the Buffalo Bills took a kickoff return for a touchdown was 3 years and 3 months ago. The same number Hamlin wears, the number 3, now a symbol of support for him across the NFL. Meantime, Hamlin has been transferred to Buffalo General to continue treatment.
I know his parents are going to be with him there, and I think that helps as well, and knowing that he's well taken care of. I just think overall it just continues to put our minds at ease that he's in good hands and that he's moving in the right direction.
Good morale all around the city, sure to help them in this Sunday's wild card game against who else but the Miami Dolphins. In the control center, Christopher Gomez, South Florida Media Network.
Brazil's former president relocates to a Florida hospital for recovery of past injuries. Ex-President Jair Bolsonaro tweeted a photo of him on a hospital bed in Orlando yesterday with injuries related to a 2018 knife attack during a political rally in Brazil. The photo's caption explains his trouble with past surgeries and adhesions.
Classified documents have once again been found outside of the White House. The Department of Justice is now looking into the classified files which have been returned to the National Archives after being found at the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement. President Biden used this office from 2017 to 2019 when he was an honorary professor, while the House Oversight Committee issued a statement saying that Biden's legal team took immediate and proper action. Some Republicans are comparing how the situation was handled differently for Trump.
The idea that they're floating around out there, Democrat or Republican, the idea that these type of documents are out there in the public isn't good for America as a whole or our intelligence community.
President Biden has yet to respond to questions about the documents, and it is still unknown whether or not he will be investigated by the new Republican Party.
Today, student loans will become less of a burden for Americans seeking higher education. The Department of Education is planning to propose lower student loan payment plans to save borrowers nearly $1,000 per year and completely pardon those making less than $30,600 annually. The plan will impact the 8 million Americans repaying their income-based payment loans and has a possibility to attract more borrowers to enroll.
After months without a winner, today's drawing of Mega Millions is at a historic high. This is the third largest prize in the game's history, and no one has won it since October. It's $1.1 billion or $568 million for the cash option. This is the first time in 4 years the prize has gone beyond $1 billion.
A long night of partying for fans of college football's national champions.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better.
After all the hype, the book and audio book for Prince Harry are out. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
I could really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Pantotech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
You really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
A Prince's Tale, the Duke of Sussex, now a U.S. resident, is free to tell his own story, and its release date is today. It comes on the heels of the Netflix docuseries from Harry and Meghan.
As the network's Kenya Cardone reports, Prince Harry addresses his estrangement from the royal family, the loss of his mother, and his disdain for the British press.
I love my family. I always do.
Prince Harry revealing intimate details of his life and the breakdown of the relationship with his royal family in a new set of interviews ahead of the Tuesday release of his memoir, Spare.
Nothing of what I've done in this book or otherwise has ever been to, any intention to harm them or hurt them.
This all comes as Harry continues to push back against what he calls the institution, casting a litany of allegations against the inner workings of the monarchy, while also candidly speaking about the death of his mother, Princess Diana.
I don't think my family knew what to do. I wish I had the ability or the opportunity to do some form of therapy.
On Good Morning America Monday, the Duke of Sussex took responsibility for his role in the breakdown of the relationship with his brother Prince William and said his mother would feel sad over its current state.
I think she would be heartbroken that it's ended up where it's ended up.
Harry further admitted he hasn't spoken with his stepmother, Camilla, the Queen Consort, for a long time.
I love every member of my family, despite the differences. So when I see her, we're perfectly pleasant with each other.
Harry also expressed disdain for the British tabloid press and its interactions with the monarchy. Thus far, Buckingham Palace has been silent.
They're pretty hamstrung. They can't use the old way of doing it with leaks and briefings and what have you, because that's exactly what Harry's railing about.
But Harry appears to be set on making his voice heard.
I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better. That's genuinely what I believe.
Reporting for South Florida Media Network, I'm Kenya Cardone.
Also today, Spare is available for download as an audiobook read by the author.
Back-to-back national champs, the Georgia University Bulldogs won their second consecutive national title for college football. After an absolute blowout by the Bulldogs against the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs, students and fans of Georgia filled the streets of Atlanta cheering on the Dogs and their perfect season. The final score of the championship was Horned Dogs 7, Bulldogs 65.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Paloma Pimentel.
I'm Leanne Abu Tarbush. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.